Let's go. Welcome to the Eden Army podcast, everybody. I am your host tonight, Pete Robertucci. Let's start off by thanking our resubscriber. That would be one this week. That was Agnes over at the fireplace. We appreciate that. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I got a goal for the end of this month to have 35 subscribers over on Kick. Oh, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? Well, just watch the stream in there, and you'll see Botrix. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. You guys know how to do this kind of stuff, so we certainly appreciate that. Tonight we got a lot of news. We're not going to get to everything. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get to everything, but some of the news that we're going to talk about, we're going to wonder if the Ukrainians lost their will to fight. I think they might have. Is Cracker Barrel committing suicide by wokeness? Could be. Epstein grand jury file again. That's out in the news. An illegal alien kills 3 in Florida. Democrats are trying to bury Republicans under the White House. What does that even mean? And Trump wins again. I do have a. Well, let's see who's in chat here. Rev, you made it on time. Outstanding. Diana, you made it over from YouTube. Good job. Well, you're in both of them, actually. Terry, Battle Gnome, everybody. Okay. Paulie's in the background telling me that my audio is a little bit low. Let me jack it up a little bit. Outstanding. Cool. We do have a couple of points of interest tonight before we get started. Our friend Mike over at FIB Preparedness, in addition to having a great internet store, has decided, against my better judgment, against my advice, to open a brick and mortar establishment. And he's looking to have his grand opening no later than Black Friday. He's going to have a number of vendors over there in Illinois. And once I get more information about that, I will let you guys know. So that's going to be pretty cool. I do have some upcoming appearances that I should talk about, or I'll get yelled at from Mrs. Tooch. Tuesday night, this is the one she loves the most. This Tuesday night, I'm doing a meet and greet with the Babes of Birchwood Book Club. Now, look, I don't even know if that's their real name, but that's what I'm calling them. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, might I remind you, I'm solo up here in the Northwoods. So now I'm going to this book club, all the Babes of Birchwood. Who knows? It's going to be part. I don't know if there's stripper poles. I don't know what's going on there. So, Paul, how's my level sounding? A little better? Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Thumbs up, the man says. Very cool. So we're doing that meet and greet with the Babes of Birchwood Book Club. That'll be fun. We have CanCon coming up in South Carolina on November 7th and 8th. She signed me up. She signed me up for more work in the Casements in Ormond Beach, Florida, a week after CanCon. I'll be there kissing babies and smacking mamas on the butt. And, of course, the Fallout event, which is going to be October 17th through the 19th. Very cool. Guys, don't forget to come see us out there at Fallout. Russ isn't here tonight. He's off doing big time writers, author stuff, so he couldn't be with us. He couldn't hang out with us small people anymore. But we do have Paulie Ham in the house. Paulie Ham. Paul, I was told I didn't give you a good introduction last week. So let's clarify everything. I've known Paul all of his life because I'm his uncle, first of all. Paul has been off and on in the entertainment industry, opening up for some groups as early as 2012. Is that what you told me, Paul?
I've been doing music as a performer since 2010.
Yeah, so not the kind of music that you guys are going to be into. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm a 90s, 80s, 90s kid, so I listen to all kinds of genres of music, but I can tell you right now, Paulie Ham's probably not going to be on your particular playlist.
It's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But hey, I do it for me, not for anybody else.
Exactly. Now chat's already blowing up. They're saying I'm digging a hole. I made a record for digging a hole with Melissa already. I'm already Patrick Seven says he's going to be at CanCon. Larry Dial says hi Russ. I don't know where Russ is at. He's not here. He's off doing big time famous writer stuff. Let's see. This is another thing I got to watch out for here, Paul, because I can't. The scammers right in chat. So just guys, give me a heads up once they come in, because I don't click on their links for the love of God. Don't click on their links, or do I don't know. No, Patrick, I don't like that synthwave 80s type music. Not my gig. But I have listened to it during some type of inebriation, I'm sure. I don't know where Russ is at. He's in, he's out. I don't know what to tell you guys. He's trying to stream from his phone. Russ, listen to me. Your internet doesn't work good at the RV. Your phone's definitely not going to work, bub. So don't even try it. So let's see. We still have a Paul hole. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was Paulie's drop off.
No, that was, yeah. So I'll tell you guys a story. So Paul came to live with me. He was probably about 14 or 15. Do you mind if I tell the story, Paul?
Go for it.
Perfect. So he was being a little asshole and having some problems. So I said, listen, that's it. He needs a father figure in his life. Me and Melissa were pretty much just like first getting together. So I'm like, hey, look, chick, I'm going to tell you, my nephew needs me. I'm moving down here. She's like, okay. So we changed him up quite a bit from when we got him, but he acted out one day, and our pond on the 10 acres down there in Eden happened to be dry that year. And I told him, I go, okay, you keep screwing up in school and doing this and doing that. I'm going to show you how day laborers work. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I woke him up that morning, handed him a packed lunch, drove him out to the pond, and I said, dig a hole right there, take the dirt, and move it over there. He's like, what do I got to do that for? What am I just moving the dirt? I go, because you're only going to be a day laborer. You keep screwing up. I go, when lunchtime, I'll come out, and then at 3:30, I'll come pick you up. Now, we're only on 10 acres, but hell, he dug a hell of a hole there. We still call it Paul's Hole in the pond. It holds fish like crazy. It's the deepest part of the pond. You remember that, Paulie?
Yeah, so let's talk about the dimensions of this.
Mm-hmm.
It was 5 feet deep, 5 feet wide, and as long as I could dig. I remember that. It was miserable and not a fun time.
But you didn't skip school after that anymore, so that was a good thing. And then he went on to go into the United States Navy, where he was on the aircraft carrier CV-67, if I'm not mistaken, Paul, the John F. Kennedy. And you were there during the attack on Fallujah, if I am not mistaken.
So we were deployed 2004 for OEF, OIF. We wrecked the Middle East. So what I found out from a couple of Navy buddies that just got out is they would read us statistics of, confirmed kills every day. Hey, like we sent this many planes out, they dropped this much ordnance, et cetera, et cetera. They don't do that anymore. Apparently they don't like to celebrate. They don't like to celebrate their victories.
No, that's the newer, gentler United States. I think 30,000 pounds of ordnance or 30,000 actual pieces of ordnance were flown off of your deck within the first few days of Fallujah, something of that nature, I think. You thought your uncle wasn't keeping tabs, right? See, there you go. I was. So hopefully, Christy, I've explained that enough to you, and now you know who's sitting across from me over on the side here. So there you go. Very cool. Let's see. Pissed Off Arborist says, oh, man, let me pull these up. I can do that now. I have control. That's what happens, right? You got to look. You got to set them right. We do it now. We're back to it. We are back to it with this SecDef. You're 100% correct. Very cool. So now there you go. That's Paul. That's the guy sitting next to me. Now you know And hell, that's all we know. So I should mention also before we get started into the news that I just heard just before the podcast that the U.S. had deployed 4 Aegis style destroyers and 4,000 Marines off the coast of Venezuela, in addition to putting a $50 million bounty on the head of President Nicolas Maduro. This is like deja vu, isn't it? This is like deja vu of Panama, right? 1989, the invasion of Panama, we loaded up. Now we loaded up with 20,000 troops as opposed to 4,000. But this has the kind of earmarks that kind of remind me of that a little bit. Now, the U.S. Trump administration is denying that it's here for anything other than narcotics interdiction. I don't know. What do you think about that, Paul?
Well, it's not up to the military to tell us when they're conducting operations. You know, they have to deny if that's what they're doing. So it's one of those we're going to sit back and watch and be excited if that is what they're doing. If, you know, either way, they're going to stop drugs or they're going to, you know, stop.
Well,
later.
It's funny because, you know, Trump had already said, look, we're going to go after the cartels, and he did not rule out using U.S. forces. Now he's got cruisers off the coast of Venezuela. They already call Maduro illegitimate president. They put a $50 million bounty on his head, like I said. I don't know. Let's see if the tail wags the dog on this one, as they would say, right? YouTube, Sandra Davis is on here. Music 2 8. Sandra says she's got A-10s flying over her house. Javi's in the house asking Kelly if everything's good to go. 7 Navy men, cousins, brother. Lady of Fire says she's got 7 people in her family that are in the Navy. Very cool. So let's get out of all that. I just wanted to jump on that because I just heard that, and it just reminded me so much of '89 and the Panama deal and the Manuel what the hell was his name? Manuel Battle Gnome, help me. Ortega, I think that was it, right? Which he ended up getting extradited to the United States, where he died in prison, from what I understand. But let's forget about that. I want to talk about what I did the thumbnail on today for this podcast, because there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of things going on in Ukraine, especially after Trump had met with Putin. Then he met with Zelensky. Then he met with members of the EU. Soon after that, Poland and Sweden have scrambled fighter jets in response to a recent Russian attack on Ukraine. They said it got a little bit close to the Polish-Ukrainian border, so they scrambled jets. Also, Russia allegedly today or last night bombed a U.S.-operated factory, injuring 15 people. That's what I want to know from you guys out there in the audience. Are these false flag events? Are these being hyped up to draw the United States further into the war? I know the military-industrial complex would love nothing more than to drag this war on forever. But it just seems too timely to me. And you know how I feel about coincidence. You know how I am about there's nothing as a coincidence. So as soon as everything seems to be going toward a peace deal, Poland and Sweden scrambled jets because a Russian missile got too close to their border. And now all of a sudden in Kiev, a United States operated plant was attacked by a Russian missile. I don't know. Let's look at chat, see what they have to say about it. I don't know. Paul, I don't believe in coincidence, man. I don't like it.
No, I don't think it's coincidence at all.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear some feedback from everybody in the chat, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, man, this deep state stuff it runs deep. That's why they call it deep state shit, right? It runs deep, and there's a lot of money behind it. And most of that money comes from the military-industrial complex. Noriega, that's it. You're right, Battle. Thank you. I knew you would bail me out. Lala is in the house. I tried to get Lala to come in and sit with me today, but he was all nervous and scared. Broken Spokes Productions says Kick won't let me back in. Okay. Well, go do your work, man. You got to worry about what's going on here. We got this shit. Russ says, Guy says he banned Russ. Diana says Air Force all the way. miles above the rest. That's funny.
Okay. Look, that right there, pissed off arborist said, "Follow the money."
Yeah, that is all you have to do is follow the money. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? I think it again. There's nothing. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't think that the deep state wants this war to end. I think there's too much money to be had, and just a random U.S. Manufacturing plant. I don't buy it. If anything, Putin would stay away from anything of U.S. interest in Ukraine. Look, Putin wants to end this war faster than anybody else. Now, he wants to end it keeping Donbass region. That's going to happen. And here's the deal. If Ukrainians are not willing to give up that region that they lost, I get it. I understand. If you're not willing to do that, then the EU better pony up. They better pony up some money and they better pony up some troops, because Russia, look, yes, of course, they are holding Russians back. They're holding the Russians back. The Russians haven't sent nearly as much as they could be sending them on top of Ukraine. Not nearly as much. So they've been limited in their attacks. Are they losing troops? Yeah, but Russia's never cared about troops. World War II, how many millions did Russia lose? They never cared about their military. You're going to drive forward, and if you come back, we're going to shoot you ourselves. That was their motto. So
the problem is that Zelensky can only stand there on his soapbox, pounding his chest, saying we're not going to back down for so long until there's a big enough attack and they're going to be forced. You at least have a little dignity and handle it the right way.
And I agree. Now, I don't know what the answer is, and we can get into the history behind why Putin ended up coming after. Some may say he's just egotistical and wants to get the continuity of the old Russian lands back together, the motherland, and there's probably a little bit of truth to that. But he's also acted because of what NATO did to him and the promises they broke. Now, I was reading on X today that somebody was arguing with me, but there was never anything written about NATO not expanding near the Russian border. No, but our president said that he assured that they wouldn't, and there was a handshake agreement for all intents and purposes. Well, that's what you get when you get a handshake agreement with the Democrats. So suck it up. NATO is just as much to blame as the Biden administration for this war. Now, who wants it to keep going? Who the hell knows, Paul? Who the hell knows? So the consensus in the Ukraine right now is they're fed up with it just as much as the rest of the world, from what I see. Let me run this video and look what recent polling has to say about their Ukrainian sentiment on the war.
Feeling at the moment. A new poll shows that almost 70% want to see a negotiated end to the war. Here's this analysis on CNN.
Look at this. The vast majority, about three-quarters, 73%, agreed with that position. Negotiate to end the war as soon as possible, only 22%. Look at where we are now. It's a complete flip. It's the inverse. Now 69% want to negotiate to end the war as soon as possible, compared to just 24% who want to fight until Ukraine wins. That's a 49-point drop in this position. Now, of course, negotiating to end the war as soon as possible, that's a bit more nuanced, right? Ukrainians don't want to agree to all of Russia's demand, but I think the idea of even there being some territory that would be not formally recognized as being given, that Russia could in fact stay in, that does have majority support, but the idea of formal recognition of Russia's demands, absolutely not.
Joe, what do you make of that? And also, what's your sense? Is there a bit of this renewed hope or energy that progress is being made?
I think the Ukrainian people want to call it a day. Look, in the modern era, that is, nations who get polled on these things, they usually regret. They have a.
Let me pause that real quick. That Patrick 7, that is a great point, and that is something I did not even think of. But wow, and that's not going to go over too well with the Ukrainians. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Ukrainians are allegedly some of the most racist people in Europe. So I don't know. I mean, they've called them. You're talking about neo-Nazis and stuff like that. They've called them that in the past. So what Patrick is saying here, there might be some validity to that, man. That's good stuff.
They think things are a mistake 2-3 years later, whatever war it is, with the exception of the Second World War. I mean, Americans thought the First World War was a mistake, Korean War, Vietnam War, and all the rest of it. Look, the Ukrainians would like to get out of this. They're giving Zelensky the moral card here to negotiate on their behalf. And so they're not too fussed about the fine lines. I mean, it's just going to be messy. They know that. But this idea that nothing is going to happen until Putin gives things back, that's not true. I mean, Putin has been warning the West now for 20 years about the creeping mission of NATO. George Kennan warned the American people about it. Ambassador Burns advised the American people against it, and French politicians in the past, all kinds of people would see that this was a mistake. And but anyway, I think the balance of power has been restored on the borderlands of Russia and Ukraine. And Ukraine, by the way, was a staunch member of the Soviet Union for about 50 years. They had a lot of nuclear weapons there, great scientists and technicians and all the rest of it. It's not like Ukraine is dealing with somebody from Mars here. They know exactly what the playbook is like. They were good former Soviet soldiers and citizens. And so this idea that they're dealing with an alien being, that's not true at all. They know exactly what they have to do to make this come to an end. At the end of the day, I just think people who fled Ukraine would like to go home, restore their lives, but it's going to take a long, long time to put Humpty Dumpty back together.
So he made a good point there. He talked about the creeping in on the Russian border of NATO. And again, I mean, that's the precipice of this entire war for the most part. Now, there are some extenuating circumstances with what the Biden administration did to Russia and how they were kind of strong-arming them. But at the end of the day, that is the history behind it, Paul.
So I don't know if everybody paid attention where he said they know exactly what they need to do to end this. They're not dealing with something unfamiliar. They know exactly what it's going to take to end it. They were, part of the Soviet Union for 50 years.
Yeah, it's not a surprise to them. They knew what they were getting into as soon as Putin crossed that border. They knew what he wanted. They knew, look, he owns 20% of their country. And again, if you don't want to give up your land, the EU better send some damn troops in. And look, we'll give them arms. Trump says, yeah, we'll give them all the arms they want. But the EU is going to freaking pay for it. The taxpayers are no longer paying for this shit. So that's where we're at. Let's see what Patrick says. I like to put Patrick's stuff up because he's a smarty pants. So yeah, we're gonna talk about semi trucks here next, Patrick, and you tell me what you think about that. Hey Dan, good to see you, brother. Glad you made it to the show. Yeah, so I don't know what the answer is in Ukraine. Not my place, not my circus, not my monkeys. That's what I say. But stop sending my tax dollars that way. That's what I say. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel's next on the list, Paul. We'll stay in the homeland now. It has Cracker Barrel went the way of Bud Light and Dick's Sporting Goods. I haven't been in Dick's Sporting Goods since the day they took AR rifles out of their store. And I used to spend a lot of money in Dick's Sporting Goods. So I don't know. Do you think they committed business suicide? Do you think they suicided themselves by doing this?
So I'm looking at this from two sides. The business side of me understands that it's a rebranding and it's a new era that we live in. And I understand that if I was under any kind of scrutiny, you want to please your biggest batch of customers. The problem with pleasing your biggest batch of customers is you change the logo to something that is not indicative of what people were used to. I think it was personally, I think it's a terrible move. Professionally, I understand the business move. You're trying to cater to, I don't want to tiptoe around what I say, but it's the they them group of people,
Yeah, and do you really think that that's their biggest group of customers? You do think that 10%, that 5%, that 2% of they thems are their biggest supporters? No chance.
They believe that everybody's. So I saw a post on this morning, and it's a good friend of mine. He's actually a local rapper from Pittsburgh, and his immediate response was, they got rid of the cracker and they got rid of the barrel. He's like, I'm never going back there.
Yeah, it's an you can't say nothing to it, and it doesn't make any sense. Look, you say that this is what your customers wanted. This is clearly not what your shareholders wanted. Shares dropped $8 when they heard about this. Let me run the clip real quick, Paul, here, if I can find it.
It's a heartbreaking story. After nearly 50 years, customers are now having to say bye-bye to the barrel on Cracker Barrel iconic logo.
Why did we not lead with this? It comes as a part of the restaurant chain's rebrand that has a lot of fans up in arms.
Fox Business's Jeff Block joins us from outside a Cracker Barrel in New Jersey. Hey, Jeff.
Ainsley, you know, when you get to be my age, you really don't want things to change. And I've probably, full disclosure, eaten at more Cracker Barrel restaurants than any other restaurant in America over the course of
Arborist, you want to chase lot lizards. Carry on.
my life. But yeah, the old man's going away. They're changing the logo. Maybe you see it. Enjoy it now. The old man, I don't know if he's going to his great reward in heaven or what, but they are changing the logo. Well, sometimes, in fairness, you do need a brand refresh. What people love about Cracker Barrel is that old country charm. The old farm implements on.
That's not a rebrand. That logo on the right is not a new generation of it. You know
That's
what I mean?
that's not something innovative, right? That's not something that's like, oh, please stop. Just stop. Your 2%ers, your 3%. Let's just please stop picking on us, right? That's what that is right there. Like nobody could say anything bad about that.
No. This is something your kid designs when he says he wants to be a graphic designer, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
You did a great job, kiddo. That's great. It doesn't make any. When you rebrand, it's something more innovative. I get it. Watch when they start showing the inside of the restaurant. Then I'm gonna throw something out there.
All the old signs on the wall. Well, they're updating that, and to be honest with you, I think we've got some pictures of what that looks like. It's actually not a bad thing. When you get old, also, you can't see as well. So white walls actually help you see the food a little bit better, which may or may not be a good thing when you're ingesting large amounts of biscuits and gravy and all the other stuff.
So all you libtards, all you pansy, basement dwelling, no good snowflakes, they took away all the black wood and they put white wood in. There. Swallow that.
The CEO of Cracker Barrel says, hey, we're not changing what Cracker Barrel is. We're just trying to make it a little fresher and newer. Here's how the CEO puts it.
We are listening to our guests. We're doing this all for them. What they've said is they love the new seating. We're adding in booths, making the chairs more comfortable, putting in new lighting, brightening up the paint color, and it's working.
It's working. There, I threw that chart up there. Does that look like it's working? Tell me the people who have that in their 401ks. They have Cracker Barrel in their 401k. Is that working? Because I can promise you that those are the people, Cracker Barrel, that eat at your restaurant, not the they, thems, him, shims.
The results affirm that we're headed in the right direction.
They also have added some new menu items like, here's my favorite, butter pecan French toast bake with vanilla custard soaked bread and cheesecake filling. It comes with a free visit from a cardiologist, which is not bad at my age either.
Thank you so much, Jeff. You have a problem with this.
More of the menu choices and less of the branding. Please, in Weatherford, Texas, do not touch the Cracker Barrel. Just leave it the way it is, or the people are going to boycott it, and that's not good for business.
That's not good for business. Let me go to what Jason was saying. There you go. There you go, Jason. That's what they've done. Brand A, brand B. I'm not saying anything about the young lady on the bottom. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying be innovative, guys. Be innovative. And you're not. So there you go.
They spaced out the seating.
Yeah.
I always thought the best part of Cracker Barrel is I would always end up in a conversation with somebody at another table because you're bumping into them. You're like, hey, sorry about that. Oh, you're here with your grandkids, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, you made a new friend.
Yeah.
Now you're spaced out and you're in a social distance in post-COVID eras.
Right. It doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. Patrick, what did all that got? All that got censored somehow. AI mode. It says deleted Patrick's. Where's that at? Let me find it. Here, I'll put it up here, Patrick. So let's talk about, because I'm a Florida boy, right? And they always call us Florida crackers. And it has nothing to do with our skin color, has nothing to do with slavery. Back in the day, if you read a book called A Land Remembered, you will get the definition of what a Florida cracker is. Back in the day, Florida ranchers, Florida never used to be overgrown like it is today. It used to be prairie land because they ran cattle. So they cracked the whip on the cattle to move it up to Jacksonville and into Georgia. And that's why they were called Florida crackers. So there you go. Education. I don't know why this is hey, this pisses me off. Let me put up what Rev put up here. Inside of Kick Chat, it says that stuff is being deleted. And I don't like that. And I'm going to find out why. Let me find out where Rev is. Rev says that they took. Oh, I love that. I'll find it in this chat and put it up, Rev. That's a good one. Did it make it?
Listen, while you're trying to research that answer, you could just DoorDash a custard-soaked pecan French whatever he was talking about, as opposed to some chicken and dumplings.
Exactly. Guys, I don't know what's going on with Kick right now. I see that some of your comments are getting deleted, and I'll address that. But you're right. They took the engine off of the Butter brand. They took the Black Lady off of Aunt Jemima, and it's hurting everybody. It's hurting the bottom dollar. So I will find out what the hell is going on with that AI deleting people's messages, because if that were the case, then I'm just going to stream on my own website and tell these guys to suck it. But speaking of Indians, Rev, an Indian CDL driver involved in a fatal Florida highway crash named Hijander Singh was extradited back to Florida after killing 3 people while doing an illegal U-turn on the interstate. Let me give you a little background on this guy. Sawyer, go on. I got you, buddy. Go on. I'm trying to do a podcast here, buddy. Damn. On September 18, 2018, he illegally came across the Mexican border into the United States. In 2020, Mr. Singh applied for a work visa and was denied under the Trump administration. The Biden administration comes in 2021. He reapplied and was granted his work visa. In 2023, Singh got a full-term CDL in Washington State as a non-resident, and he got a limited CDL in California. In 2025, this year, he was pulled over in New Mexico for speeding, where he failed his English requirements. That was that executive order by the Trump administration that if you had a CDL, if you drove big truck, you had to be able to speak English, and he couldn't recognize 3 out of the 4 common signs that are on the freeway. And then he went on to do this.
Tonight, the governor announcing he will send his second in command to California, all to pick up the truck driver accused of killing 3 people on Florida's turnpike while making an illegal U-turn.
The driver, Harjinder Singh, made his first court appearance Tuesday in a California courtroom. He is charged with 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Investigators say Singh was behind the wheel of a semi-truck that made an illegal U-turn across all northbound lanes of Florida's turnpike. A minivan then collided with the truck, killing all 3 people inside. At the court hearing, he signed an extradition waiver to be extradited back to Florida. The case has left a lot of questions about how he was able to get a California commercial driver's license.
The Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy posted on X that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is launching an investigation now into the driver and the company that he worked for. Investigative reporter Jennifer Titus has been digging into the background of that driver and the company.
And Jen, what have you learned?
Okay, so when we want background information about a truck company, we go to the FMCSA's website and look under the truck company safer profile. Earlier today, the site was telling me that the company still has authorized operating authority status. But if you click a little deeper to check the company's insurance status, which has been canceled. It was canceled on Monday, just days after the deadly crash. It is illegal for a company to operate without carrying insurance. But experts in the truck industry were very upset that the operating authority status had not yet been changed. That was until I called the FMCSA, and you can see here within minutes of that phone call, their operating authority status was changed to not authorized. We can also see that the driver and vehicle inspection rating averages are both worse than the national average. The feds are looking into white hot carriers, finding both Washington State and New Mexico violated FMCSA rules after a preliminary investigation revealed the driver did not speak English. And we'll, of course, stay on top of this case. The governor saying that when the driver is brought back to the state, they will, quote, throw the book at him for what he did. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.
So there you go. Not only did the Biden administration fail the American people, but also the Trump administration. I mean, look, he was driving under the Trump administration in New Mexico in 2025 this year. Those New Mexican state troopers had the ability. Now, I don't know what their local politics were, but they had the ability to detain him right there and remove him from remove his CDL license. They didn't do that. So I'm sure New Mexico is probably leaning to the left. I don't know, but if I had to guess, that would be that'd probably be a good assumption. I don't know. Let's see. Hitting chat here. You got anything to add there, Paulie?
I just saw the comment that he collapsed a bridge. Was it in California? Let me find it.
Oh, that was Larry Dial's comment.
Yeah, where's it at?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'll figure it out, sweetie. I will work on it.
I think it's insane that, that company was operating with no insurance. It should have been a red flag with the name of that company, White Hot Carriers or White Hot Express, whatever they said it was. They obviously had no care. And this guy collapsed a bridge.
Yeah, I don't understand. I know in 2025 he was pulled over for speeding. I don't know about the bridge thing, but who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Speaking of that, Paul, do you know? Now you saw Russ on here last week, right? You know Russ. He's my producer guy. He's usually in the background. I bring him up front. I show his ugly mug to everybody, and I try to amp him up the best he can. But as most of the viewers here know, Russ has finally, after 10 years, written his first post-apocalyptic book. Now, I know, look, Chris Weatherman, Angry American, has been his idol forever and ever. He was one of the OGs on Angry American's bulletin board deal. So he was always wanting to write a book. So I said, look, when you come up here, let's just hammer it out. Let's just do it. You write, I'll write, and we'll try to get something done. And it looks like he finally after 10 years got it done. And he made this little his little video that most people probably saw last night, but let's run it.
In a fractured America under martial law, retired Air Force veteran Cole Ramsey faces a storm of betrayal and chaos at Pete's Place, his family's rural stronghold. As President Penzie's iron grip tightens and the corrupt Sheriff Dobbins aligns with the ruthless BAD crew, Cole, his wife Nora, along with their son Colby and his girlfriend Ava, and their allies Paul and Tom fortify their farm against an onslaught of violence. Haunted by loss and driven by loyalty, they stand defiant, their rifles ready as engines roar in the distance and treachery looms. With the creek running red and shadows closing in, the Hanging Creek Chronicles. Shadows of Martial Law is a gripping tale of resilience, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will to protect home in a world spiraling into darkness.
There you go. You can pick that up at Amazon right there, or go to BrokenSpokeProductions.com, and he has a link right there to pick that thing up on Amazon. And guys, if you buy it, leave a review. Right, wrong, or indifferent, leave a review. They all help the algorithm, right? That's just one of those things that it does. So absolutely leave a review.
I'll be picking up my copy tomorrow.
Perfect. There you go. So, and I don't know, someone had asked me if it's going to be on Audible or not. I'm not sure of that. I got enough going on with trying to get my Birchwood Burning 2 book done, which, by the way, I made amazing progress, 17,000 words in 4 days. So my phone has stopped ringing. That's nice. That helps me get work done. People aren't texting me all the time. Oddly enough, Paulie, I get most of my writing done, and I don't know why this is, when Melissa goes back down to Florida.
It's no honey-do list or anything?
Well, no, I mean, there's always a honey-do list, but I can usually knock that out the day she's coming, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, Sandra Davis, everybody ordered them. I told them, I can read for free on Amazon, but ordered one. That's very nice of you. And that all helps. Yeah, and even if you're reading it on the Kindle Unlimited, read through all the pages, because he gets paid for every page you read, which is awfully cool. So, guys, I'm going to take a quick intermission. We're going to dump. I still have more news, Paul, but we're already 40 minutes in, and I haven't even. I'm going to dump YouTube, Facebook, and X, and go on the Kick. Not that it's helping us any, because apparently they are friggin' censoring us too. But bear with me, guys. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes. Get out of there, Paul. Why doesn't that work? There you go. Hold on, I'm working on it.